I love to surprise my family and friends by taking them on culinary trips around the world. And today, I'd like you to join me on a trip to Egypt. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. I love to have family and friends over, and because I have them over so often, I like to shake things up a bit so they just don't know what they're going to be having when they come. Now, the inspiration for my most recent meal came from a date night that my husband and I had. Years ago, when we got married, okay, not too long ago because I don't want to give my age away, but when my husband and I got married, my husband actually insisted on a date night. This is where, ever since the kids were born, we would go out once a week, and every other week we would trade off. He would choose where we would go one week, and the next week I would choose where we would go. Well, we always try and choose something really unique and different, and I chose an Egyptian restaurant in Knoxville. So all these recipes were inspired from this, and this is kind of like my version. And I want to share with you the first recipe that I'm going to do, and I called it, just for fun, Cleopatra's Chicken Roll-Ups. So if we could put the recipe up on the screen, I'll read it for you. You will need 2½ cups of frozen yellow corn, 2 cups of cooked rice, 1 can of black beans, 3 tablespoons of Thai chili sauce, 1½ tablespoons of olive oil, 1 medium poblano pepper diced, 1 medium red pepper diced, 1 medium sweet onion diced, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 2 12.5-ounce cans of fried chick, and the juice from 1 can of fried chick. Well, let's roll up our sleeves and get started. We'll begin by adding our 1½ tablespoons of olive oil into our skillet, and the skillet's already hot, so it's all ready for us. We'll take our sweet onion. Now, I used to say that I just liked, when I would say I wanted to use a sweet onion, I always said I wanted the Vidalia sweet onions. Well, I had a viewer from Walla Walla send me a bag of Walla Walla sweets and said, you know what, Walla Walla sweets are just as good as Vidalia's. And after using that whole bag that she sent me, I have to agree, they are just as good. So either one is just fine. We'll let our onions start browning. And you want to make sure that the onions get clear, that when they take on a transparent look to them, that means that they're cooked. While that is cooking, I want to go ahead and add the corn, and I used frozen corn for the sake of convenience, but if it happens to be the time of year when you have fresh corn, then you could use fresh corn, which would make it really good. And I'm going to turn this up just a bit because I want the corn to get nice and brown. And I'll make sure to stir that up quite a bit. Now, you want the corn to get golden brown. That's why I turned the heat up. And if they show you a close-up of this, you can start seeing the kernels start to get browned. It just gives it a really nice roasted flavor. And while that's browning, we'll go ahead and add our pepper. Now, this is a poblano pepper. When I made this recipe at home, I used a poblano pepper from our local store, and when I tasted it, it had a really mild flavor. Now, Teresa Shelton was helping me get set up for this recipe today, and she tells me that this is hot. Now, I'm going to just see if it's hot because I don't really believe her, because when I made this at home, this was not hot. Ah, water! Water! Oh! Oh! Just kidding. It's not really hot. You can add as much as you want. Okay, Teresa just must not be used to hot food. So go ahead and use it all. It just gives a little bit of zip, and we want that extra little flavor to it. But I also want to add some sweet red pepper. Now this is a sweet pepper, and this adds really nice color to it. Look how pretty that is. I should have called this harvest roll-ups or something, but I decided on Cleopatra. She likes color, I decided. We'll let that just cook just a little bit. And I have taken fry chick. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with fry chick, this is a soy product. It is made out of soybeans, and I want you to look at the can here. It is low fat, has no meat in it whatsoever, and I'm using this as a, let me turn the can a little bit. I'm using this as a substitute because the recipe at the restaurant called for real chicken. And I also wanted to say, I do this a lot when I go out to eat, and I'll see something on the menu that has meat in it, and I'll think, how can I make that where it doesn't have meat in it and it doesn't have dairy in it? And then I'll go home and try and create it where it doesn't. And you know, it's a whole lot better for you if you don't have the dairy products and the meat products. And most recipes I found that you can substitute. And this is one that I did. Now actually, if you can't find the fry chick in your area, then you don't have to add it. It just gives a little bit more texture, but you don't have to have it. So you can still make this recipe if you can't find this. I'm going to let that saute with the vegetables. I'll go ahead and add my seasonings. I have a tablespoon of cumin, and sprinkle that around, and a tablespoon of chili powder, mix that in real good. Just for a little bit of added flavor, I'm using the Thai chili paste. I love the taste this gives to it. Just something a little different. And then I'm going to add the black beans next. And I have rinsed and drained these black beans. You do not want to add the juice, or it'll change the color of your whole dish, and plus you don't want to use it'll be way too much liquid. For the rice, I like to use, just for something different, and you don't have to use it if you don't want, but I like the saffron rice. It gives a little bit more color, and you'll see later when we serve it, I like the extra color. You can buy saffron rice in mixes, or you can just take rice. As you're cooking it, add a few saffron threads to it. But there again, if saffron is not available in your area, you do not have to use it. And I add the juice of 1 can of the fry chick. And as you can see, this is quite a bit of liquid that's in the can. If it seems dry to you, you could add a little bit more of from the other can. But remember that you do not want this real juicy, because we're going to roll this up into tortilla shells. And that would be a mess with all that liquid draining out of it. Doesn't that look beautiful? Okay, we are ready to fill our tortilla shells. Now, if you live near someone like I live near my sister Brenda. In fact, we live right across the street from each other. She is known for her homemade flour tortillas. So our family's spoiled. I just say, hey sis, I'm making these tortillas, roll-ups. Can you make me some tortillas? Well, if you don't have a sister that does that for you, then you can go to the store and buy flour tortillas already made. I am spoiled, I will admit it. I took the tortillas and I put them in a cloth. And the only reason why I did this is because you don't want them to dry out, because it'll be really hard to roll up, they'll crack. So we'll take a tortilla, and let me see if you can see this, if this is the best way to do it. You know what? Maybe I should do it right here, because then you can see it better. And we'll put a little bit, and you want to keep it to this edge, like that. Roll it like this, then like this, then like that, and like that. And then slide it to the end of your tray. Now, this is a really good recipe to make ahead. I did this for a party once recently, and I had over 50 people, and I made all these ahead of time and froze them. And then you just take them out, put them on a cookie sheet, and I spray them with, let me stop talking so I can show you how to roll this. Bend the top corner. Actually, there's no corners on a tortilla. And roll like that. And then just turn it. See how easy that is? Now, what I do is I spray this with either my olive oil pump can that I have, or you can spray it with a baking spray, like a non-stick spray. And then I bake them in an oven for at 350 degrees for 30 minutes, just until the shells are a little brown. And I've done some ahead of time so that you can see what they look like. See how nice and brown they are? Actually, these are more brown, but see how golden they look? Before I can show you how to serve this, I need to show you how to make the sauce that goes on this. So if we could put the recipe up on the screen, I'm going to show you a sauce that I use to put on top, and I call it the Palace tomato sauce. For this, you will need 2 14.5-ounce cans of chili-style chunky tomatoes, 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, and 1 20-ounce jar of picante sauce or salsa. This is very easy and fast. Take your 2 cans of the chili tomatoes, put them in your skillet. Actually, not a skillet, it's a saucepan. Add the 20 ounces of picante sauce or salsa and the 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. All you want to do is let this get hot. And since my saucepan was already hot, my sauce is hot. I want to show you how to put this together. So I'm going to take one of our plates and go to my rice cooker. Now, if you don't have a rice cooker, I absolutely love a rice cooker because the rice is perfect every time. We'll put a little bit on our plate, like this. Take a Cleopatra roll-up, sit it in the middle, and where's my spoon? Here we go. And spoon a little bit of sauce over the top. Isn't that beautiful? Now I served this with some Mediterranean vegetables, which was really pretty on the plate. Just some sauteed zucchini and yellow squash, some carrots. You can do your favorite vegetable. To end this meal, I decided I wanted something really special. And since my husband loves carrot cake, and he's the head of the household, I decided I'd make Pharaoh's carrot cake. So if we could put the recipe up on the screen, you will need 1/2 cup of canola oil, 1½ cups of sucanat, 1 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple, 3 cups of carrots finely grated, 1/4 cup of coconut shredded, 1/2 cup of water, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 cup of raisins, 2 cups of whole wheat pastry flour, 1 cup of unbleached flour, 1½ tablespoons of Rumford baking powder, 1½ tablespoons of Entree baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/2 cup of walnuts chopped. I'm going to place my flour, this is the unbleached flour, in the bowl. And this is 1 cup of unbleached, 2 cups of the pastry flour. This is whole wheat pastry flour. Then I'm going to add the rest of my dry ingredients, the spices, the cardamom, and the coriander. That's 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1/4 of cardamom. Whoops, I almost spilled the cinnamon. 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon and a half of the Rumford baking soda, baking powder. Boy, I can't even talk today. And then this is the 1½ tablespoons of the Entree baking soda. And I will stir this all together. Now, kind of make a hole in the middle. Now, if you want to mix your wet ingredients together separately, you can do that, but I don't usually. I'll add some raisins. 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple, and you want to add the juice and all. Add your carrots. This is 3 carrots grated, and you want to finely grate them. 1/4 cup of shredded coconut. Whoa. I'm going to add the sucanat and mix that up really good. Now, this is 1½ cups of sucanat. If you want to use a different type of sweetener, if you use date sugar or you use the Florida Crystals milled cane sugar, you can do that. Add the walnuts. This is 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts. And then, let's see, the vanilla, a teaspoon of vanilla. And 1/2 cup of canola oil. And I mix that up really good. And then I need 1/2 cup of water. And I put my water down here, I guess, sorry. Add the 1/2 cup of water. And you want to stir that up really good. Want to get this well mixed. Now you can use the electric mixer if you want, and I have one here, but I'm going to use that for my frosting. I don't usually use it for the cake batter. See how moist that is? And let me set this aside and clear this off because I want to show you how to get your baking tray prepared for this. This is what some people call it a jelly roll pan. Some people call it a cookie sheet. But it actually is a jelly roll pan because it has a side to it. Take some non-stick baking spray and spray your pan. Then I use parchment paper, and you can use parchment paper, or you could use wax paper if you want. Let's see, not that way, this way. And if I can get it to tear. Line your pan with the parchment paper, like this. Now spray the top of this with the nonstick spray again, and make sure you get the sides. Make sure I don't get myself. And put your batter into the pan. And you'll want to spread it out evenly. Now, if my daughter Katie were doing this, like she does on Kids Time, she's so particular. She makes sure she gets every last little bit out of the bowl. And we tease her. Bless her heart, she's such a good cook. I kind of just don't worry about what's left in it because it's not that much. Now you'll want to spread this out and get it even. And it's a little sticky, as you can see, and you just will work it a little bit. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to finish this. I have one already baked for you, and it just came out of the oven. So I want to quick show you how to take it out of the oven. So let me set this over here. Put my bowl in the sink. You want to take a towel, and this is the size of the pan that we just used, and put all this, clear my surface here. And I want to make the sugar to be really, really fine. So I'm going to take the Florida Crystals. This is the Florida Crystals pure milled cane sugar. And I'm going to put it in my blender, like this. And you blend it up until it gets to be a really fine powder. And it just takes a second. Let's do it a little bit more. You want it to be really fine, so if that, kind of get it around the sides. And you can tell it's already starting to be a powder. A little bit more, I think. So you want it to be really, really fine. Now, you want to cover this towel, just kind of dust it with the powdered sugar. And this is the, I actually forgot a whole box of utensils. So I'm going to just go like this. If I was home, and what I really had planned to bring here was a sifter. And you can just put this in the sifter and just put it evenly all over your towel, like this. And just get it a nice coating. You don't want it doesn't have to be too thick. Put that back. And now I'll take this cake. I've covered it up to keep it moist. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm going to flip it. Okay, this is going to take, really is not as hard as I'm making it sound. It's very easy. I'm going to flip it onto my towel. Okay, guys, see if this works. I did this at home, and my husband laughed because when I flipped it, I really did it hard, and this cloud of powder went everywhere. He thought that was kind of funny. He was laughing at me. Take the parchment paper off. Now we're going to roll it up and roll the towel. We'll put this, see how I did it in the center of it? And I'm going to put a little bit of the towel in the cake roll. And I'm going to just really, really carefully roll it up like this. And you'll roll it up with the towel. See? how nice it rolls. This is just a really, really moist cake. And what's wonderful about it is we did not use any dairy products in it. See how nice that rolls up? And go all the way over. And then you will take this and set it on a baking rack and let it cool. And I'm just going to put it right out here to let it cool. And I'm going to make a cream. It's a better than cream cheese because I'm not using a cream cheese. I'm going to use tofutti better than cream cheese. Let me hold that up so you can see it. And this is a tofu cream cheese that is actually very, very good. This is one of the best ones that I have found out there that it tastes the best. And I'm going to make a center, a filling for this. So let's go ahead and put our ingredients up for the filling. You will need one 12-ounce container of tofutti, better than cream cheese, 1/2 cup of Florida Crystals pure milled cane sugar, 3 teaspoons of natural vanilla, 1 1/2 teaspoons of instant clear gel, and 1/3 cup of chopped pecans. For the sake of time, I have already made the filling, and I unrolled the cake, and I've spread the filling, and I want to quickly show you how to roll this up. Let your towel guide you, and just very, very gently keep rolling until you get it completely rolled up. We're going to go to a break right now, and when we come back, I'll show you the finished product.
If you've enjoyed the recipes and cooking tips in this program, you'll want to order our Food for Thought resource sheet. We'll tell you how you can order the cookbooks you've seen used on this program, along with other information that will help you cook healthful, attractive vegetarian meals. For your free copy of our Food for Thought resource sheet, please write to us at Food for Thought, P.O. Box 220, West Frankfort, Illinois 62896, or call 618-627-4651.
I've already sliced a piece of the cake just so you could see how pretty it looks on the plate. I think Pharaoh would love this dessert. I also think Cleopatra would love the veggie roll-ups. Look how pretty they look on the plate. To give our table just a little bit more of the Egyptian flair, I bought some plastic grass and I set them in a clay pot. Now, you can use your own imagination just to give it your own touch of an Egyptian theme. You can use sand in candles or in a pyramid, just something original and creative. Well, you know, that's all the time we have for now, but may your family and friends be blessed as they gather around your table.